Hey guys, welcome back to Ironside Ranch, and today I want to talk a little bit about cattle prices. Okay, so first off, welcome back. Hope everybody had a great Christmas. We took a couple days off. That's why you haven't seen us. And I think we last video we posted was on the 23rd. So just wanted to get some time with our families and everything. So we didn't do anything YouTube related, and I took off from our other businesses as well. We just enjoyed some family time. So what I want to talk about today was the cattle prices and kind of what we're seeing going on here, and how it's being reflected in the beef at the stores, and basically where this looks like it's heading. So the cattle prices currently, what we're seeing is we're seeing kind of standard cattle prices. When I looked this morning, then the cattle prices were about $1.35 per hundredweight, or $1.35 per pound, so it's $135 per hundredweight. So it's how that works out. So cattle are generally, when you abbreviate it, if you don't know about cattle, it's usually they'll say $1.35 or $1.35 per hundredweight, and it means $135 per hundredweight. But the cattle prices as they are right now, so that's kind of where we've seen them be. We've seen them. They'll fluctuate about 15 cents off of that, depending, and then obviously you get more if your cows are polled, and if they are black colored coats on them. So red cows and white cows sell for less than black cows do. So it's just a kind of a weird thing from a marketing standpoint, because black cows, they can market as Angus, and so there's no difference in the beef quality or in the flavor of them. It's just they sell them and they're marketed better. So they'll sell better if they again, if they're polled, so they don't have horns, if they're castrated, vaccinated, wormed, etc. They get higher prices for them at the sale barns. Now we don't sell at the sale barns, so I don't keep up with it any more than just kind of knowing what the general price per hundredweight is. So I know if I'm overpaying or getting a deal on my cows when I purchase cows. So that being said, I had some guy on, if you look over, Economic Ninja and we did another video here a couple weeks ago, or a week ago or so, and had some guy on that forum on there on the comment box arguing with me about the price of cattle, and I eventually just let it go because he was kind of an ignoramus. And the reality of it is that what we're paying for cows right now is I'm getting cows for about half the price that I was getting them a year ago, and I didn't really have a good answer as to why. And I think I had this kind of dialed in a little bit more. Now, a couple things to note. One, we raise heritage breed cows, so I don't keep track of what a registered Angus bull goes for. I don't pay much attention to that. I don't pay any attention to what Herefords are selling for or anything along those lines. Any of these kind of generally commercial breeds. So I can't tell you what their prices are. I know my cattle prices right now are down, and they're about half the price for steers as they were a year ago. A year ago, we were paying about $600 a steer, and now I'm actually paying closer to $300 a steer. Now, these are heritage breed cows. You'll never see steers selling for that cheap that are commercial breed cows, because commercial breed cow steers are weaned at weights that mine are butchered at. And it's just because my cows are smaller. They're not bred for size. They're bred for their hardiness. They're bred for their docility, and they're bred for their ability to survive on really crappy forage. My cows, you can see our cows put on weight on generally pretty much scrub land. We have a few cows getting some extra rations right now, simply because they don't have the genetics, but they're going to be butchered. They're just not going to be bred. And that's how we allow that to work. Now, these cattle prices being down for us has made our profit margins larger, but we haven't changed our price on the beef. Now, we didn't change our price on the beef because ours went lower, simply because our costs have gone up as well, because we've seen costs of fuel and that sort of, and grain and that sort of thing going up. And it looks like all that's going to get worse in 2022. We're seeing increased prices on grain. We're going to see, we talked about the DEF fluid shortage that's really from a baseline of urea, which is used in fertilizer. So not only is it more expensive to operate the tractors that require the DEF fluid, but it's also going to be more expensive to grow in a traditional manner where you're using lots of fertilizers, where the base is ammonium nitrate, and so those fertilizers for the large farmers are going to affect it. Now, we are a natural farm outfit here. I don't say organic because I refuse to get the government to stamp on a certified organic. My cows are cleaner than organic, and I don't need the government to tell me that they meet the qualifications. So we can talk about that later in a different farming video. But where this comes back into us is that y'all are going to be paying higher prices at the store next year, because we're seeing an increase in costs in that end. But what's really interesting is that there's a decrease in costs on the supply side, because I'm not having to pay as much for my cows. What I think now, after doing a little bit of research on this, what I think is happening is I think that we're seeing a decrease in it because people's the supply of hay and grains has gotten more expensive for a lot of these smaller farmers, and they're selling out their cows so they don't have to feed them through the winter. It's about the only thing that makes sense to me. When I've called some of them to figure out exactly what's going on and why they're selling them to us cheaper, that was kind of the general answers, that they're downsizing their herd or changing some things in there, and which is kind of code for it's getting too expensive to keep them. And our costs too have gone up on things like hay, but it's a pretty marginal cost, especially when you're this small of an operation. If you're raising 10,000 head of cattle, it's a little bit different equation when each cow costs you $5 more. When I'm raising 100 head of cattle and each cow costs me $5 more, not really a big deal. So it's an equation of size and it gets exponentially larger with the size of it. So that's where that cow price is going to come into play. So even though our costs are down, our costs are down on purchasing the cow, we have other increased costs, and it's been pretty marginal again because of the way that we operate here, because we don't use fertilizers. I don't fertilize my fields. We use natural fertilization on it, which takes more time. And so you have two options when you're starting out farming. You either have money or time. You have to pick one of those two that you're willing to invest in it. And we elected to do it with time because we have all of our money in other businesses and other aspects that we are trying to grow. And so we wanted to use our time that we had to work on building a quality land, quality pastures here, and a quality seed stock for cattle. And we're getting there. It'll be probably another couple of years before we have really good seed stock and what we want, and being able to sell good quality seed stock. And we got probably another 3 or 4 years before we got our pasture where we want it. But again, this is what you do when you don't have the mechanical abilities to clear land, because it's very expensive. $2,000 to $5,000 an acre to clear land is pretty standard, so that's that. When we have an overgrown forest here, that's what we're stuck with. So it's either money or time, right? So anyways, guys, I wanted to just dive into this a little bit here at the cattle prices because I wanted to clarify a few things from that video, because again, there were some people that were really mad about this from the video. And again, you have to understand how we do things. We raise heritage breed animals. I don't sell it at sale barns. So those two things are out of the equation for me. Those two things are really big for most cattle ranchers, 99% of cattle ranchers out there. The type of that commercial breed cattle, those prices are what matter to them. They don't care about the heritage breed cattle because heritage breed cattle don't get big enough for them to make their money off of it. It works really well for us because we sell direct to retail. I could not make any money off of my cows if I sold them at the sale barns. It's very difficult to make money off of cattle if you're raising heritage breed cattle and selling them at the sale barns because the input costs are too high for what they actually pay at the sale barns. So if they're paying at the sale barns $135 per hundred, right? So $1.35 a pound, then that to me is not what we sell for. We sell ours at $3, $3.10, depending on our current prices will be on our website, but we sell ours right around $3 per pound at the time of this video. And obviously costs go up, things go up over time. But at the time of this video, we're selling at $3 per pound live weight at the butcher, and they pay the butchering processing fees, which works out to about $3.50 a pound live weight is what people will generally pay, which is going to put you $7.50 a pound at the finished product. And so right now that's generally where we're trying to stay at. And again, our product is far superior to the stores, and our ground beef might be $2 more than what you're getting at the store. It's about probably equivalent to what you're getting for grass-fed at the store, but it's going to be $2 or so more expensive than what you purchase at the store. But our prime rib, well, I think it's not prime because it's not grain-fed, but our ribs, our T-bones, all of our porterhouses, our steaks, everything is also only $7 a pound instead of $12, $15, $20 a pound. So it's a balancing act there with when you buy it in bulk like that. And that's where we're planning on staying for all of 2022. We're not going up next year. We may have to go up in 2023 depending on what happens, but for right now, 2022 prices are posted on our website, and y'all can go there and look and see exactly what we're charging for beef and pork, and still working through some of our poultry stuff, but that's what we're doing right now. So guys, I really appreciate y'all watching. I'm sorry this video went on a little bit longer than I wanted to. I just really wanted to dive into these cattle prices, tell y'all what's going on, where we've been, and kind of what's coming up in the future. So thanks again for watching, y'all. I really appreciate it.